the 11th of March 2011, a tsunami that was triggered by a magnitude 8.9 earthquake hit the Daiichi nuclear power plant in Fukushima on the east coast of Japan. The resulting meltdown has led to the greatest emission of radioactivity into the world's oceans in recorded history. 4 years later, and the contaminated groundwater that runs underneath the power plant is still flowing out into the Pacific.
The nuclear plant was cut into a mountain to be at sea level so that the seawater could cool the reactors. After the tsunami went out, now the seawater is mixing with the nuclear fuel circulating around the entire Pacific Ocean. Now we've had fish with radioactivity caught in California, the bluefin tuna. This is a horrible catastrophe, and the world needs to combine its efforts to dealing with this problem right now. And that's why I wanted to see Barry Leucker, who's an expert in Maraceal injections.
My understanding is there's about 2,000 to 2,500 barrels in oil field terms of water flowing under the reactor going out to sea.
Every day?
Every day. I think that we can place a polymer, acrylic polymer gel with a crosslinker in it, and then I can drill a well and create a bulb around it, if you will, in the permeable sections. I would like to chase it with micromatrix cement, and we'll seal this thing up. We can go under that thing and we can literally sit there and put multiple well bores. We are extremely accurate. You cannot believe the accuracy that these people have achieved. We can take a slant rig and literally we can drill horizontally underneath the reactor. What is success? I mean, if I place enough polymer gel and I get it in place, if I chase enough micromatrix cement and I seal it up, if I get under it, and now you have 10% and you got 200 barrels instead of 2,000 barrels. We're still making progress, and the other thing that I get back to is at that point the ice wall may work. They got that ice wall sitting there. That ice wall failed almost assuredly because there was so much water going by that the thermodynamics of the situation didn't work. They could not get enough energy, cooling energy down there, and that the water that was going through, they never could form the wall. If you screw up the permeability upstream of this, to the point where you can't get that energy transfer, that ice wall will work.
Yeah.
So there's two different ways that you might resolve this issue. If you think back to when they built the Hoover Dam, they had flow underneath the dam, which threatened to literally wash out the dam and destroy the whole thing. And they embarked upon a program, and I don't know exactly what they pumped, but they drilled below that dam and they shut off that water flow. And they had certainly a lot more pressure to contend with than we have at Fukushima. Now, we have advanced dramatically in chemistry and our use of polymers, and the cements that they had then, if it was cement, is nothing like what we have today. I mean, they did it. They did it 60 years ago, and we're trying to do the same thing. The next step is, in my mind, is to get a hold of the original cores that were taken in 1967 before this reactor was built. You got to get this geology down to, to a fine science. If you started, you're thinking of a north-south where the wall is on the landward side. If you could sit there and take those cores, I would feel very confident that you're going to find very little difference between them. Probably some of this cement stuff has been done in comparable cores, so you wouldn't have to start cold, so to speak. You get some perm numbers, you get some porosity numbers, you could design your gel, and you can see how far out you got with cement. This is cheap, relatively cheap to do. I mean, you could probably punch that hole out, that core hole, the ones in Fukushima, 80 feet deep. I would probably want to do something a little deeper, but I mean, that can be done in a day, 2 days. I truly think that I could put together a plan in less than a month. All of this, it can be done.